It didn't start with action. It started with observation. Lena Voss never saw herself as someone who did things in the world, she watched it. Studied it. Every person moving through their daily life was unknowingly building a pattern, and she could see it forming like structure beneath chaos. With Jace Orlen beside her, the world became less like a place and more like a system, predictable, repeatable, readable. Social media wasn't entertainment to them. It was exposure. Every post, every timestamp, every casual photo was a fragment of behavior waiting to be assembled into something usable. What most people called privacy, Lena called illusion. The target was never chosen emotionally. There was no curiosity about who she was, no interest in her personality. Mara Kincaid was selected because she was consistent. Predictable. A life lived in public without realizing how structured it had become. Lena didn't need to guess her habits, she could see them repeating like clockwork. Morning runs, cafe visits, digital silence at exact intervals. That silence became more valuable than her presence. Jace mapped it all, turning her life into a timeline that repeated with uncomfortable precision. And once repetition exists, control becomes possible without ever touching the person. Jace didn't think in terms of risk. He thought in terms of probability. Everything had weight, everything had frequency. A door opened at the same time each week wasn't coincidence, it was architecture. People believed their routines were flexible, but they weren't. They were loops. And Mara Kincaid lived inside one of the cleanest loops they had ever seen. Even her smallest hesitations, pauses before unlocking her door, brief checks of her phone, became data points. Lena watched all of it without emotion. The more human something appeared, the easier it was to reduce it into structure. What made the system powerful wasn't technology. It was behavior. People volunteered their patterns without resistance. Jace identified the maintenance worker early, not because he mattered directly, but because he revealed himself. Shift schedules posted openly, casual updates about work timing, fragments of life exposed without awareness. It wasn't infiltration that mattered. It was alignment. Every individual unknowingly filled gaps in the model. Lena understood it clearly, the world didn't need to be broken into. It was already open. It just needed to be read correctly. On execution day, there was no tension in the traditional sense. No urgency. No chaos. Everything moved exactly as predicted, which was the most unsettling part. Nothing resisted them because nothing needed to. The system they built didn't force events, it followed them. Even Mara's unexpected post wasn't disruption, it was data correction. A small deviation that still stayed within acceptable range. Lena didn't feel excitement. She felt confirmation. When the world behaves exactly as calculated, doubt disappears completely, and that absence of doubt is far more dangerous than fear. Inside the building, silence wasn't absence, it was compliance. Every corridor, every movement, every cycle of light and lock followed a rhythm they had already studied. Lena didn't rush because rushing implied uncertainty. And there was none. Jace guided everything remotely, not like control, but like observation unfolding in real time. What they were doing wasn't breaking into something, it was stepping into a moment that already existed in probability. The most unsettling realization was that nothing needed to be forced. The environment simply allowed it. It only became wrong at the end. Not during. Not while it was happening. But after. When Lena stood outside and saw the update on her phone, something didn't align anymore. The system had accounted for everything, except awareness of being observed by something else. Jace saw it too. The model didn't just fail. It reacted. As if it had been noticed in return. And that possibility changed everything. Because prediction only works when the subject is unaware. The moment awareness enters the equation, control stops being one-sided. And for the first time, their perfect structure felt like it had been understood by something else entirely.